Let's talk about Java Docs. Java Docs is a program that is part of the Java Development Kit. And when you run it against the code that you've written, it creates an HTML page that can allow people to understand your code better. And you'll see in BlueJ, I've got this thing called source code, and if I drop it down, it says documentation. Well, before I run this and click documentation, I want to show you what my project folder looks like. So I've got a program called program, and it's in a folder called program, and it's so whenever you create a project in Java BlueJ, it's going to create a folder called with the same name. So I've got my project name program. It creates a folder called program, and if I go in there, I'll see that there's this thing called package.bluej. There's a readme text, and then there's whatever Java files I've created. When I go to my source code and I compile it, what I'll find is that I'll get class files in here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and compile this, and you'll see that in the background this program.class showed up. And watch what happens when I switch from source code to document. I get an extra folder called docs, and then I can see my program, at least some things about it. So this code here is HTML. It's generated automatically, and it was created in my docs folder that was also created. So all of this HTML web pages here, that was all created automatically. Now, often we want to add special comments on our web page, or not on our web page, within our Java code that allows us to share to our code viewers information about what our code does and how they can change it or how they can use it. So I'm going to switch my program code here back to source code, and I'm going to add one of these special comments. And you guys have seen the line comments. That's 2 lines forward, 2 forward slashes, and a block comment, 1 line forward, 1 dot. But there's also the Java doc comment, and that's where we do 1 line forward, 2 stars. And you'll see that it automatically closes that for me. It color codes it blue. That's special Java doc code. And here I could put a description of my program. This is a silly program. And we can also have these tags at author. And then we put a space, and then we can put the author's name. Or we could put the version at version. And I can put version 1.0. And then when I compile this and switch to documentation, it's going to go ahead and generate new documents. And you'll see that this time it's created this version number here and the author, and it's given it a description. This is a silly program. So this is the very basics of documentation, and it just comes down to doing a /2 stars, writing a little bit of information that describes our program, an @author and an @version. And we'll talk about more advanced documentation in the future.